Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, welcome to the APS online teaching system. As always, I am your biology teacher Sharjeel Ahmad Qureshi with the fifth lecture of our online biology class series. So without further ado, let's get started with it. So today we will not look at the recap of previous lecture only. Rather, we shall discuss the whole chapter which comprised of my previous 4 lectures. So in the first lecture, we were introduced to the word biology along with all the varying branches this field has. In lecture 2, we discussed about the career options a biology student may adopt depending upon his interest as well as Islamic point of view towards this field. Moving along, we discussed all the levels of biological organization in lecture 3, followed by a deep understanding of cellular organization in lecture 4. So in today's lecture, we shall have a look at biological methods involved in solving a biological problem. Steps may include hypothesis deduction and experimentation, which we shall look in detail later on. So what are biological methods? This term refers to all the steps involved in solving a biological problem. We cannot just haphazardly start making things or assuming various phenomena. We must follow a systematic approach. Even from historic point of view, humans have always been biologists as they have observed animal behaviors that had made them a better hunter. They have learned better ways to grow crops and so on. It even has an impact on our modern lives as a lot of scientific discoveries have been made possible by the use of biological methods. These steps are basically followed in every scientific research rather than just biology. So here we have a general overview of all those steps starting from the real problem till experimentation. We can say that these are simply the steps in a biological problem. So what are these steps in the first place? Let's have a look at them one by one. So we have 7 major steps, the first one being the identification of the biological problem. We then make observations in second step and formulate a hypothesis from those observations in the step 3. In the fourth step, we deduce certain results from our hypothesis which are practically tested in the fifth step, which is the experimentation. Finally, we summarize all our data and publish them to the whole world. So beta, I know it's getting difficult to comprehend all these steps from a single slide. Why don't we look at them one by one in detail? So the first method as mentioned earlier is the recognition of biological problem. What I mean to say is that a scientist encounters a scientific problem which needs to be solved and he identifies it. And in case of the science of biology, the scientist is a biologist. यानी कोई भी मसला जो एक साइंटिस्ट को नज़र आता है, चाहे वो कोई बीमारी हो या कोई भी मसला जिसका हल निकालना ज़रूरी हो, जैसा कि एक एग्जांपल कि एक न्यू बीमारी जो लोगों को बीमार कर रही है जिसके बारे में पहले कोई भी मालूमात नहीं है, तो ये एक मसला हुआ ना. So the second step is making of observations. Now observations can simply be identified as all the new things a biologist learns about the problem that he has identified. He may learn new things or he may find previously done work in that regard. अब ये ऑब्जर्वेशन की कैसे जाती हैं, आखिर ये ऑब्जर्वेशन जो हम लोग बनाते हैं ये होता कैसे और इसको स्टार्ट कैसे किया जाता है. फ्रॉम आवर सेंसेस हम चीज़ों को देखते हैं, सुनते हैं, महसूस करते हैं और फिर ऑब्जर्वेशन बनाते हैं कि कोई चीज़ कैसी है. So we utilize all our senses in order to make such observations. Now observations that are made can themselves be of two types. They could either be qualitative or quantitative. So what does that mean? Qualitative is a thing which cannot be measured with numbers, while quantitative can be measured. So quantitative observations are more accurate than qualitative ones. Okay, let's have an example which will make this idea clear for you. So you can see on your screens that it is stated the freezing point of water is colder than the boiling point. That is a qualitative observation. We know this fact that freezing point will always be lower than boiling point. चीज़ को गर्म करके ही उबाला जाता है और ठंडा करके ही जमाया जाता है, पर how much is it lower? So now look at the quantitative observation that says that the freezing point of water is 0 degrees centigrade and the boiling point is 100 degrees centigrade. So in this case, we got an exact number of the extent of difference between freezing and boiling points. And this value is much more accurate as compared to the qualitative one. I hope you got the concept here. So the third step is the hypothesis formulation, and you must pay a very close attention to it as it is crucial in building your basic concept. So beta, what is a hypothesis? Hypothesis है क्या? A hypothesis is a personal assumption a scientist makes depending upon his observation. यानी ये साइंटिस्ट का अपना ख्याल होता है कि इस मसले का ये हल हो सकता है नहीं, यानी एक हाइपोथेसिस गलत भी साबित हो सकती है। ये सिर्फ उस साइंटिस्ट का अपना ख्याल होता है कि जो बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम थी उसका ये जवाब होगा या हो सकता है, मगर ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वाकई वो जवाब हो, गलत भी साबित हो सकता है। अब ये हाइपोथेसिस बनती कैसे है? हाउ इज़ इट फॉर्म? It is formed from the observation that scientists had made from the careful planning and reasoning. Now, a good hypothesis must have a few characteristics as it should be a general statement, so everyone must understand it easily. It should be a tentative idea, which means that ये कि ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो सही ही हो, वो गलत भी साबित हो सकती है. So it should be flexible to receive all kind of criticism and all kind of observations. इट शुड एग्री विद अवेलेबल ऑब्जर्वेशन, यानी जो भी ऑब्जर्व किया हो उसकी बुनियाद पर ही हाइपोथेसिस बनाई गई है, ठीक है। इट शुड बी केप्ट एज सिंपल एज पॉसिबल, इजी इनफ फॉर एवरीवन टू अंडरस्टैंड, एंड फाइनली इट शुड बी टेस्टेबल एंड पोटेंशियली फॉल्सेबल, which means that if someone else wants to test this hypothesis, he could test it and may possibly prove it false. Okay, so now the fourth step is deduction. The deduction means कुछ अखज़ करना, यानी कोई फैसला निकालना, कोई चीज़ निकालना, यानी कुछ समझना. So in this case, deduction means to obtain logical reasons from the hypothesis. Now here is the important concept. एक साइंटिस्ट हाइपोथेसिस इसीलिए बनाता है क्योंकि उसका ख्याल होता है कि यही जवाब है उस मसले का, यानी उसकी बनाई हुई हाइपोथेसिस सच है. So to support the hypothesis, he had made deductions. He has to make deductions or simply give logical reasons. That's why his hypothesis is true. So if the reasons are valid enough or the deduction is valid enough, they will lead to a positive result. So now the fifth step is experimentation, which is the most crucial step. In this step, the hypothesis, which was just an assumption before, is put to practical test to prove it. यानी हम तजर्बा करते हैं कि वाकई जो हाइपोथेसिस हमने दी थी वो सच है भी या नहीं. हाइपोथेसिस को सच साबित करने का वाहिद जरिया यही है कि उसे टेस्ट किया जाए. जैसे कि मैं कहता हूं कि कोविड-19 इज कॉज्ड बाय कोरोना वायरस. आई मस्ट डू एक्सपेरिमेंट्स टू प्रूव इट. आई मस्ट चेक द ब्लड ऑफ पेशेंट्स वेदर दे हैव अ वायरस इन द ब्लड और नॉट. इफ आई डू फाइंड अ वायरस, माई हाइपोथेसिस इज करेक्ट, बट इफ आई डिडंट फाइंड एनीथिंग इन अ पेशेंट्स ब्लड, माई हाइपोथेसिस विल बी रिजेक्टेड. I hope you got the idea here. So the sixth step is the summarization of data, which means to combine all the data which we have learned and gathered during our experimentation. अब हम चीज़ें ज़बानी तो समझा नहीं सकते. We must present it in a readable form. We must average it, compare it, and many other steps to do so. So this data will thus make it easier to make a final conclusion. For example, I have shown you a bar graph. This bar graph represents the number of COVID-19 patients in the world as of today. अब इस बार ग्राफ को देखते ही आपको अंदाज़ा हो जाएगा कि किस मुल्क में कितने पेशेंट्स हैं, and it is much easier to comprehend. Same is the case with the pie chart on the right. So the final step is reporting of results, which simply means that after all the experimentation and summarization, presenting the outcome with other people's or simply the rest of the world. So how is it done? The results are published in research journals, seminars, and lectures. This publishing makes it easier for the rest of the world to give their opinion on the subject and verify if our work is true or not. So so that's all for this lecture today. I hope you understood all the concepts. Again, we have the assignment here which you will have to attempt. But before that, let me clarify a simple confusion most of the students are having. So the questions mentioned in yellow are those included in APSEX assignments and must be sent to relevant teacher via portal. Those in orange are the questions I feel to be important and must be attempted on your NEET copies, which will be checked once school reopens. Finally, this term to ponder section only contains the terms that you must learn in order to have a clear understanding of the topic. They are not required to be written on the copies. They are for your understanding only. Anyways, beta, thank you so much and I will see you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.